Good morning, good evening, everyone. So today we have Dr. Kumar from one of our students, and she matched completely in diagnostic radiology. So this is something that a lot of you have asked us what it takes to match into competitive specialties like radiology. So we thought we'll get some time with her and get her perspective. So welcome, Shruti. We are glad you're
Thank
here
you,
with us.
Pavan, for having me here. Yeah, thank you so much for having me here today. And I'm very excited to share my journey with everyone.
So let's start with your background, Shruti, where you come from, medical school, and your journey till you were in the US or got started in the US.
Sure. So my journey in USMLE was a little bit different from like majority of the applicants. So I am from India. I have done my medical school from Maulana Azad Medical College, and I graduated in 2015. And
Mhm.
after that, I have a home country residency experience in diagnostic radiology from PGI Chandigarh, which
Okay.
I completed. And after that, I had around 1 year of work experience. After which I decided to move to US, and I decided to pursue USMLE after my residency. So that was like a little bit different from most people. And this year I matched in diagnostic radiology in 2021 match in a categorical program.
Okay. So, you obviously had one thing probably going for you in terms of a home country residency, but there must have been some challenges that you had to overcome, being radiology being such a competitive field here. So, what were some of those challenges and how did you overcome those?
Yes, so I think I did face a few challenges. One was that, like when I started, I was kind of alone in my journey because I did it after residency, and I didn't have like a group of people that I could study with or I could ask my problems with. So that was kind of challenging, and I like started with exams like few years after my medical school, so I
Mhm.
lost touch with my first year subjects. So that was kind of challenging, but I think there are ways to overcome that challenge. So I tried to join all the social media platforms like Facebook and other platforms where I could get maximum information about resources and exam preparation. I joined Sarthi because like I was kind of alone and I needed a guidance, and most of my friends had already moved to US or they were doing something in India. So in that way, Sarthi actually helped me in every step, how to time my schedule and what to do in a sequence that way. And another big challenge which I think everybody faced was the pandemic itself, and that kind of like changed my entire schedule, because I had a lot of rotations lined up but they got cancelled, and I had those rotations scheduled like a year in advance. So
Right.
at that time there was a lot of confusion, but like since like a lot of things changed and people adapted to the situation, a lot of tele rotations came up. So somehow I was managed to complete my application on time. So yeah, so although there were challenges, but I think somehow like I managed to do it.
So, specifically on rotations and research, did you do a mix of tele and on site? And did you do any research in the US that helped you improve your profile?
Yes. So I was lucky in the sense that I had completed one away rotation before the pandemic. So I had
Mhm.
that on my CV, and
Okay.
that rotation was from a reputed university program. So that kind of like helped me. And apart from that away rotation, I balanced my CV with a lot of tele rotations. And
Okay.
when I started doing the tele rotations, there was a lot of like speculation whether they will be appreciated, or whether they will be considered, or whether it will have the same value. But at the end I realized when I sat in the interviews, a lot of faculty members and even residents and even program directors were actually very appreciative that you made use of what was available to you,
Okay.
and nothing could have been done at that time. So that was there. And research wise, I don't have a US research experience, but I did have research in India,
I
which
see.
I actually presented also internationally, and that I did completed a thesis during my residency in India and PGI. So that actually had a value, and I think in almost every interview people would ask me about that the thesis, and it has been accepted in an Indian journal also. So they were curious to know what I did. So I had some research background, but yes, I did not have a US research background. But I think my residency kind of like balanced that need. Like I had some experience, so I think that kind of made up for it. But I know people who come here, and this is especially important for fresh graduates who do not have some kind of training in their home country. They come and they get some kind of exposure in US in research as well as clinically, and that is definitely important, I believe, in a branch like radiology, because you have to show that you are committed to the branch, you know enough about the branch, and that really interests you. And especially some kind of US exposure is also required. So I did that via my clinical experiences, but of course there are people who do research, and that is also like important.
Okay, so let's switch gears. So, as you were interviewing, interacting with the programs, what would you say were the top things that programs look for as they evaluate applicants for diagnostic radiology?
Yeah, so I think when they call you for an interview, I think they do put some filters, according to me. Like they will put probably a score filter, or some kind of US experience filter. But when I actually went to the interview, they didn't ask me about my scores, or whether you had to meet a particular criteria of score or something. But yes, most of the times radiology interviews were very comfortable, and they'll make you very comfortable, and they'll ask you very general questions. Like, I think the most important thing they want to assess after they call you is to see whether you gel well with their program and with the residents, and whether they would like to work with you. So I think most of the times one question which I was asked everywhere was, what do you do for fun? What are your hobbies? And they're just curious to know what kind of a person you are. And other than that, obviously they ask you about your journeys, because every person's journey is different. So for me, they asked me about my experiences in India and what I did after coming to US. So they're just curious to know what you've been doing and whether you are actually interested in. So I think this focus on the branch that you are aiming and how you show that in your application is very important. You have to show that yes, you are interested in this branch and you've been doing things in that particular field, either in your home country or in US, and you show that in your application, and you also show that in your CV. And other than that, of course, there are routine filters like scores. Then of course you have to have letters, preferably from US, maybe one or two from your home country, especially if you have had a training there. And other than that, of course, like volunteering and publications and just like general. And I believe that what worked for me was that I had every checklist, like everything I had done, like something in everything. That's what I think. Yeah. So I think that worked for me. And this, I also would like to emphasize that I've seen some people who work very hard on their scores, like probably they have 260 scores, and yet sometimes they don't end up matching, because everybody has to understand that your entire application goes and you have to stand out in almost every area. So even if you get average scores and you have other things in your CV, then that speaks more, rather than you have an excellent score and somehow you didn't have some kind of background in that field, or you didn't do some work in that field. So this is what I think I understood from this journey.
Just to summarize, obviously, scores are what they are. Some people can get higher, others may not get higher, but it is the demonstrated kind of fit to the specialty, your commitment to the specialty, and then overall profile which you build, maybe as research, maybe in volunteering, maybe in hobby. But based on that core, they invite you, and then during the interview, probably they check the fit. But I think the key point here you pointed out was the commitment to the specialty, and they want to see what you've been doing, and probably your residency really helped quite a bit in that.
Yeah.
Okay. So just another question, because radiology always students ask us about alternate pathways. Did you explore alternate pathway?
Yes, so I know actually a few people who are doing the alternate pathway as well. And so I did explore it. So what the alternate pathway is, that for foreign radiologists who have been certified in foreign countries can come to US, and they can do 4 fellowships in a span of 4 years in the same institute. And out of which they have to have a fixed number of hours in nuclear medicine as well. And after completion of those 4 years, they get board certified, and they can apply for licensing in different states. For me, I was not thinking about the 4-year pathway because I wanted to do residency. But yes, there are many people who have done that alternate pathway and they are practicing. So it's of course to the individual's preference what they decide.
Right. But just to be clear, if they have done alternate pathway, those 4 years, then they don't have, they get the equivalent board certification. They don't have to do a residency.
Yes, definitely. They get board certified. They don't need to do any residency.
Okay, that's good to know. Because that is a question we always get. Okay, so then let's talk about your journey with us with Sarthi. So how did we help you in this entire journey?
Yes. So I was a platinum student in Sarthi, and I joined quite early. And as I said, like since I started late, I was like kind of alone in my journey. I actually needed a Sarthi or a guide for my USMLE journey, which Sarthi was actually for me. So I think one of the best things I liked was that I actually had everything, my schedule on time. So I always got a reminder from my mentor to complete, your step should be completed by this time, or your CS should be completed by this time. And actually I was one of the fortunate ones who could complete CS just 1 week before it got cancelled. So I think that reminder, that constant reminder, okay, these are the things you have to do and you have to have everything in your CV, that was a very big factor. And I think as time passed by and whatever requirements were there in my application, so when the time for PS and CV came, so there was my mentor who guided me, you have to bring out the best in your application. In the few pages that you write, it should show what you have done throughout your career. So that was very important. And how to present myself well in the personal statement. And actually I was appreciated in a couple of interviews, and they said that your personal statement was very mature.
Mhm.
So how to present yourself well is the most important factor, because I think everybody who prepares is talented. Everybody is a doctor from some part of the world, and we are all very hardworking people, but that presentability has to be there. And then when the application actually started, then choosing the programs that I need to target, that is also very important,
Yes.
because as an IMG I have to target some few programs. I can't apply to every place, and also the visa filters and the percentage of IMGs that are taken, so that is very important. And after I started getting the interviews, how to prepare myself for the interview, that's also very important. Because I think we have experiences in our life, but if we are asked, at the spur of the moment, we might just take some time to think, and we just have those few minutes to present ourselves. So it's important to practice. This is what I think. Even for your interviews, it's important to be prepared, because you know the answers, but you don't have all the time to think and answer. You have those few minutes. So that was very important, and I think that helped me. And I think most of my interviews, like after every interview I felt, yes, good. Like of course there are days when you feel, okay, maybe you could have done better, but on a general opinion, I would say after most of my interviews I felt confident. And yes, then the ranking list comes. Then I think at every step Sarthi helped me, how to strategize and how to plan everything. And I think this USMLE journey is all about planning smartly and doing things on time, because this journey can take, some people take like a very long time. So it's important to schedule your time very strictly, so that you don't just keep on going and going. So yeah, I think that really helped me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So Shruti, just your closing comment. This has been very, 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 very helpful, I think, for other students. But if someone is an applicant with 6, 7 months to go, or even maybe in the next match, what would be, if they have to prioritize, and scores, again, our scores are what they are, what would your suggestions be for students, applicants, applying to diagnostic radiology? What should they be focused on?
Yeah. So for every student who is aiming for radiology, whether he or she is a fresh graduate or whether he has had or she has had some training, I would like to say one very important thing is to show that you are committed to your branch. So radiology is a branch that you have to show you have some work or some kind of experience. And for fresh graduates, you can get that by doing electives. There are many options for medical students. So it's actually more than graduates. So when I was looking for observerships, I felt that if I had applied as a student, my options would have been more. So
Hmm.
you also have an advantage that way, that people will take you as a student, and then there are research pathways that you can enter in US if you would want to. Or there are people I know who have done remote research. They have been sitting in India and they have like collaborated with people here after doing say 1 or 2 rotations, and then back in India they're working and they are collaborating in some kind of research. So there are many ways of doing it. There is no one fixed way. But I think one thing which helps is at least taking that step of coming to US and networking with people and building contacts, even if you're a fresh graduate or even if you are already have had an experience. And for people who have had experience, of course, that matters. Like your training in your home country is definitely something which adds to your CV. But at the same time, you should also understand that where I felt I kind of like missed was in the prelim interviews. I think they prefer people who are fresh graduates, maybe like less than 3 to 4 years of graduation. So my number of prelim interviews just were half of what I got in radiology. So it is like kind of a balance. There are some advantages, there are some disadvantages, but the end of the day, what has worked for most people whom I have talked to and in my own experience is that you show some kind of commitment to this branch, which could be in terms of US experience, which could be in terms of actual on-site research or remote research, or which could be in terms of poster presentation, paper presentation, publications. And apart from that, obviously show your best self in your interview and just be the person they would also want to work with. And of course, a filter of scores is important, but it's not everything. From my experience, I have realized that more than maybe 235-ish is something which I think has worked for many people. So this has been my experience.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Shruti. This was very, very helpful, very productive. And I hope all of our audience watching this, applying to diagnostic radiology, now have a clear sense of what can work and how they should approach it. So thank you. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you so
I
much,
appreciate it.
Pawan. Yeah, it was a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Thank you.